Almighty God has been giving us some mercies and blessings so we can attend this meeting without any obstacles in this happy place and time. So guys, today we are going to have presentation about morphology, and this is our last video or last task for speaking for formal setting. And then before that, let us introduce ourselves first. My name is Lia Maria Ulani.
My name is Zikri Rahman.
My name is Adini Puspita Asror.
My name is Renia Okta.
My name is Ahmad Aditya Arya Jagat.
My name is Muhammad Wahyu.
And then now we are going to have presentation, and the first speaker will be delivered by me. Okay guys, morphology is one of the branches of linguistics that studies the structure and information of words. Understanding morphology helps us understand how words are created and how meanings are expressed and how grammatical information is added to words. And then, in this presentation, we will explain the concept of morphemes and alloforms and discuss their classification and analyze several examples to show how these concepts work in actual language use. Before we move on the analysis, it is important to understand the theoretical framework behind this topic. The first concept is the morpheme. A morpheme is defined as the smallest unit of meaning in a language, although it may be very small, and it still carries meaning or grammatical information. And the second concept is the alloform. And allomorph is the actual form of pronunciation of morpheme in many cases. One morpheme can have different forms depending on the linguistic environment in which it appears. And then in this presentation, our analysis focuses on three important cases, and the first one is in the first form is which refers to the structure of word, and the second meaning is which refers to the message conveyed by the morpheme, and the third distribution which refers to the context or environment in which a particular form appears. Okay, maybe that's all from me, and the next presenter will be delivered by Adini Puspita Asror.
Okay, next, morpheme can be classified in several ways. The first classification is based on whether a morpheme can stand alone or not. A free morpheme can function as an independent word. Example include words such as book, run, and happy. On the other hand, a bound morpheme cannot stand alone and must be attached to another form. Examples include prefix like an and suffix like ed or ness. Morphemes can also be classified according to their function. In this case, there are two major categories: derivational morphemes and inflectional morphemes. These two types play different role in word formation and grammar, which we will discuss in the next slides. And next, the derivational morpheme. Derivational morphemes are morphemes that create new words by changing the meaning of a word or changing its grammatical categories. This morpheme may appear as a prefix or suffix. For example, when we add prefix "an" to the adjective happy, we get unhappy, which has the opposite meaning. Another example is the word teach. By adding the suffix "er", it becomes teacher. In this case, the word changes from a verb into a noun. Other important characteristic of derivational morpheme is that they are often less predictable than inflectional morphemes. Not every word can accept the same derivational affixes, so their use is more limited and less regular. Thank you.
Okay, the next slide. In inflectional morphemes. Unlike derivational morphemes, inflectional morphemes do not create new words. Instead, they provide grammatical information while maintaining the original meaning and word class. For example, the word walk becomes walk when the first tense marker is add. The word still refers to the same action, but it now indicates that the action happened in the past. Another example is cat becoming cat. The meaning remains basically the same, but the grammatical information changed from singular to plural. Because they follow grammatical rules, inflectional morphemes tend to be more regular and productive in English. Allmorphy. Now we come to one of the most important concepts in this presentation, which is allmorphy. Allmorphy refers to the existence of multiple forms of the same morpheme, although the form may differ in pronunciation. They still represent the same meaning for grammatical function. The variation usually occurs because of phonological factors. In other words, the sound surrounding morpheme influence how it is pronounced. The important thing to remember is that while the form change, the meaning remains the same. Therefore, all morph are simply different realization of a single morpheme.
Okay, next type of allomorph. The most common type of allomorph is the phonological condition allomorph. A well-known example can be found in the English plural morpheme. Although we usually write the plural ending as say as, it can be pronunciation in the different ways. For example, it might be pronounced as S, Z, or easy. The choice of pronunciation depends on the final sound of the word to which the plural morpheme is attached. This is different pronunciations are said to be in complementary distribution because words on apart in aspects every moment and does not complete with the other in the same context.
Next, unhappiness. Let us begin our first analysis with the word unhappiness. The word can be divided into three morphemes: unhappy and less. The prefix "un" is divisional morpheme because it changes the meaning by expressing negation. The word happy is a free morpheme because it can stand independently. The suffix "ness" is another divisional morpheme because it changes the adjective happy into the noun happiness. This example shows how divisional morphemes can change both meaning and word class. There is no alphabetic variation involved in these particular words. Okay, next is dogs. Our second example is the word dogs. This word consists of the base word dog and the plural morpheme. Although the plural marker is right as its pronunciation as that, result in the pronunciation dogs. This pronunciation occurs because the final sound in dog is voice consistent. Therefore, the all form that is selection. This example demonstrates that pronunciation is influenced by phonological context with the grammatical meaning which is in plural remains unchanged. Thank you.
Okay, next we analyze the word bus. Structure consists of the noun bus and the plural morpheme. In this case, the plural morpheme is pronounced as is, producing the pronunciation basic. This occurs because the word bus ends with a sibilant sound, namely s. English speakers add an extra vowel sound before the plural ending to make pronunciation easier. This example clearly illustration how phonological condition determine will allophone appear in particular context. And next, our final example is the word walk. This word consists of the base verb walk and the past tense morpheme ed. Although the ending is right as ed is pronounced as t, giving us the pronunciation walk. However, the same morpheme is pronounced differently in other words. For example, it is pronounced as d, and in one it is pronounced as ed. These variations occurs because of the final sound of the base verb. Therefore, the pronunciation of the past tense morpheme is determined by phonological improvement. And based on analysis we have discussed, we can draw several important conclusions. First, a morpheme is the smallest meaningful unit in a language and function as an abstract representation of meaning. Second, an allophone is the actual phonological realization of that morpheme. And third, allophonic variation is not random. It is systematically determined by factors such as pointing and phonological improvement. Furthermore, allophones occurs in complementary distribution, meaning that each form appears in its own species context. And overall, the relationship between morphemes and allophones determine how language means the same meaning while allowing variation import. Thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.